God, where you from? 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 Don't stop, 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 don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. One more time. West side, make it hot. East side, make it hot. South side, make it hot. Both side, make it hot. Side, make it hot. East side, make it hot. South side, make it hot. Both side, make it hot. One more time. Say it loud. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. One more time. Make it hot. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K show. So I'm on the other side of this debacle yesterday in the NFL, the Ravens game. And so I'm going to say this. I have this question about whether or not the NFL games are rigged, right? And so let me start by saying this. I watch pro wrestling. Obviously, I watch movies. Those things are predetermined, right? The winners are already known before the events take place. So the NFL, is the NFL like that? Is the National Football League predetermining what they want to happen in a game? I'm going to say sometimes. So when you have an instance like what we're experiencing with the Kansas City Chiefs right now, you have one of the star players, one of the big players who is dating a megastar, a celebrity, Taylor Swift. So you have the marriage of sports and music. You have the marriage of entertainment, because it's all entertainment. You're all entertained by it. And the amount of non-sports related publicity that the NFL has been receiving, has been courting with the whole inclusion of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That's what I'm focusing on. So, you got a production crew, and if you notice, they got a camera guy who's on Taylor Swift. That's just his job. You, camera number 5, you're on Taylor Swift and all of her team. So whenever something happens with the Chiefs, we're going to go to you, camera number 5. And that's Taylor Swift's camera, right? Because that's what it appears happens. How do you have this celebrity where the camera is always on her? The other football players are dating chicks, right? We don't know who they dating. We don't get to see the camera pointed on their ladies. And I'm sure that there are other NFL players who are dating celebrity ladies, right? We can run down a list of them. But you don't get no camera time on them, right? Because they're not as good for business as Taylor Swift is. So Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, let's go with the narrative. Before Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were dating to the public, before we knew that they were dating, people were saying, oh, the narrative was Kansas City is over. Kansas City is done, right? They on a downswing. And then this couple surfaces. Now they're on a resurgence all of a sudden. Now they were saying that the team that Patrick Mahomes had was the worst Kansas City team they could ever have. This was going to be the worst one he was going to have. But mysteriously, they have now found themselves in the Super Bowl. So let me say this, all right? The Ravens did not do any favors for themselves. They didn't play the best game they could play. Defense did their job. Flowers made some mistakes. Lamar made some mistakes. Obviously, Harbaugh, who I said is not a great coach, out-coached by Andy Reid. Of course, that used to be Andy Reid's young boy, right? Of course, he's not going to out-coach him, right? But, all of that aside, mistakes aside, the play calling aside, the refereeing, the officiating that took place here in Baltimore for that game was atrocious. You're only calling fouls on one of the teams. The other team you don't call nothing on, right? There were some calls that were missed by the referees that were against Baltimore. Against Kansas City. Inflicted upon Baltimore, and referees just. I don't know. It just seemed like the outcome of that game, the NFL wanted to see Kansas City make it to the Super Bowl, right? That's the better story. You got Taylor Swift, megastar. They're going to have the camera on her, walking. They're going to be catching her walking into the arena in Vegas the same way you see the players, right? I wouldn't be surprised they're going to be talking to her right before halftime. What do you think about Usher's show? This is a spectacle. And the Ravens didn't fit the narrative. Now, here's what I'm saying. If Lamar and company played a better game yesterday, they were still going to lose because the NFL did not want the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Whatever they were going to have to do. That's why the play calling was the way it was. The Ravens were favored. So they said, we got to get these officials. We need these officials to understand, right? It's just like pro wrestling. The referees that are in the ring in pro wrestling, usually if you pay attention, they have an earpiece. Somebody in the back is telling them what to do. Do this, do that. Wrap this match up. Extend the match. We're going to have a run in. All this kind of stuff. The producers, the bookers, the people in the back are telling them what to do. And we got the same type of thing. The NFL refs, they got headsets too. Somebody's telling them what to do. Do this, do that. Is it we're going to go to New York or we're going to go up top? Yeah, this is all a production. And sometimes we get wrapped up in it. And sometimes it's just an athletic contest, right? And sometimes when there's a lot of money on the line, there's a lot of money on the line. A lot of people lost money yesterday. That's all part of this whole thing. It's all part of this whole thing. And every now and then, I forget this is just entertainment. This is big business, but this is entertainment. And so with regards to the Detroit Lions, they wanted Brock Purdy. The NFL wanted Brock Purdy because that's the story that they want to tell. So they wanted Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl. Now, does that mean that the teams can screw themselves? Yeah. The Detroit Lions did a lot of things to make it easy for the narrative that the NFL wanted to be told. The Baltimore Ravens did a lot of things to make it easy to tell the narrative. But if they played the right game, the NFL was going to make sure that the narrative that they wanted to tell is what was told. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, comment section or djdiamondk at gmail.com. So, are you excited about the Super Bowl? I guess it depends on what team you're rooting for. I know a lot of people that were having Super Bowl parties. Maybe they still are. I am not as excited about the Super Bowl as I was. Maybe in a week or so, I will get there. But I don't know. Yesterday's game was very deflating. Very deflating. But I mean, maybe I'm gonna watch it. I would like to think that I am. But we're going to see. Of course, on social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. So we posted this on Instagram, and it says, this is for water drinkers. Do you prefer drinking water that is cold or room temperature? Do you prefer drinking water that is cold or room temperature? Now, a lot of folks, strangely, don't like water. We had a conversation on the No Filter podcast last week where the guest was talking about how, we were trying to convince him about water. He was just trying to say he didn't really like water like that. He didn't think that water was that big of a deal. But water is very important to any living thing. And for any people that don't like to drink water, right? Here's what they say. You could drink too much water. What if you drink too much water? You could drown. You could all that kind of stuff. They got all these excuses of why you shouldn't drink water. But do you prefer drinking water that is cold, or do you like water that is room temperature? So I'm mixed with this. Sometimes I like water that's cold. Summertime, I want, ice cold water. Just depends. Sometimes room temperature water is fine. Obviously, if you really want water, it doesn't make a difference. But I like both. I don't have a preference. You go to some people's house and they'll ask you, do you want something to drink? And you'll say, sure. You want some water? Okay, yeah, you get some water. Yeah. It's not a refrigerator. It's not cold. It's just room temperature. Yeah, I'm cool with that. No problem. It's no problem for me. Some people have all of these theories. Has to be cold, has to be room temperature. But anxious to hear folks' thoughts. Folks that drink water, room temperature or cold water, what is your preference and why? What is your preference and why? Because, everybody got a reason why they do the different things that they do. A lot of things going on, as I said, on all social media. I am at The Diamond K Show, all social media at The Diamond K Show. Here's another thing from our Instagram page, and this coming out of Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. It is an interesting observation. I can't say that I'm surprised. What's going on IG? What up? Police misconduct by 141 officers over 4 years cost taxpayers $142.8 million. $142.8 million. This is what they call not chump change. So between 2019 and 2022, the taxpayers footed this large amount for lawsuits involving 141 police officers accused of multiple misconduct incidents. So we're not talking about one incident. We're not talking about 2 instances. We are talking about multiple instances involving 141 police officers. Now, this is part of a larger $295 million that was spent over 1,000 officers' misconduct cases. A lot of folks don't know that mine, our taxpayer dollars are spent on things that we probably wouldn't agree with. Generally speaking, tax dollars spent on things that we would not agree with. And so this coming out, so 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, taxpayers in Chicago having their money spent on the payouts for multiple officers' cases. So according to a report from WTTW News, it revealed that no disciplinary actions or retraining for these officers occurred. In 2022, $61.5 million was spent on lawsuits involving 286 repeat offender officers. Repeat offender officers. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? Definitely you can weigh in at the Diamond K Show, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Now, this is the second annual review by WTTW News, which examined data mandated by a federal consent decree. Now that is something that here in Baltimore, we know all too well, a consent decree. So this one required Chicago Police Department to reform its training, reform supervision, and disciplinary process. That did not happen. Only 6% of the decree's requirements have been met. And of course, they're going to say, oh my God, we haven't had time. Oh, we've been understaffed. We've been overworked. I mean, this is Chicago. How can we do the job? That whole thing, what commonly referred to in the English language as excuses, excuses. But just so many cases. But if you look at some individuals, the report mentioned officers like David Salgado, Rocco Pruger, who were involved in multiple misconduct cases with high settlement costs, despite a glaring record of 43 misconduct complaints. Pruger remains an active officer. The city's failure to establish an early warning system to flag we would have to say are problematic officers, which is required by the consent decree, has not happened. This should pose a significant concern with the system that is still in its pilot phase, despite recommendations from the University of Chicago's Crime Lab and support from Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rao. So here's an example of a city that is in desperate need of policing, but the police themselves are not up to par. Not up to par. Of course, the job is hard. We know all of that. But folks in Chicago are a long way from getting the police and the system that they deserve, the system that is required, the system that is supposed to be happening. You know what I mean? It is it is very interesting. I'm gonna go to Cool Breeze. All right, Cool Breeze says, shaking his head like a crowd, going to keep asking the DJ to play a song, but the DJ knows it will kill the dance floor. Oh my goodness. Cool Breeze. Shout out to Cool Breeze. I absolutely know what you're talking about. And so when you're in that instance, when you're in that situation where people want to hear something that you know will hurt the party, what do? You don't do it. I guess unless they are the person that's paying you, maybe, or you find a way around it. I guess it's possible. I've been in that situation before. But sometimes you got to give people what they want in order to show them this will kill the party and this is not a good idea. And I love that scenario because sometimes people demand something that's going to hurt them, and it's going to hurt them or give them less than favorable results. And Cool Breeze saying that it's the police union that helped build up these shenanigans. You're absolutely right. They help build them up. They also will make excuses for it when it goes crazy, when it goes haywire. They're gonna make excuses. They're for police unions to have some of the ideas and champion some of the things that they do. They have no accountability whatsoever. They will not take responsibility for anything. And if they make a mistake, they're still not going to take accountability for it. They're gonna find another way around it. And I have a lot of friends and family members that are police officers. But that's just the facts. You know what I mean? That's just the facts. Now, any police officers or folks from a union that want to come on and talk with me about this, I would love to talk about it. And we can definitely do that. djdiamondk at gmail.com. Cool Breeze said that they will help keep the lie alive. They absolutely will. They absolutely will. And I think that's because they're in a position of authority. And sometimes you can just do too much. You can go too far, whereas though you can't go back, right? And sometimes they feel like that, but I think that that's part of the disconnect. If the police could be a little bit more accountable for actions and missteps, I think that would go a lot by way of helping to start mending the broken relationship between the community and the police department. It's going to take somebody to kind of, you know what I mean? What do you say? Be the bigger person. Somebody. And definitely. The Navy, the U.S. Navy, has dropped education requirements in an attempt to help boost enlistment. Yeah. Trying to boost enlistment. The U.S. Navy is starting to enlist individuals who have not graduated from high school or gotten a GED, marking the second time in about a year that service has opened the door for what they call lower performing recruits, as it is struggling to meet their enlistment goals. So that is where we are. Yeah, Cool Breeze said what? Yes, this is where we are. Now, this new plan, Navy recruits without an education credential will still be able to join as long as they score high enough on the armed service qualification test. And it ain't that hard. Okay, it ain't that hard. But as long as they can score high enough on that test, they'll be good. Now, the last time the service took individuals without the education requirement was back in 2000. And, so that's where we are. Last fiscal year, which ended on September 30th, the Navy, Army, and Air Force all failed to meet their recruitment goals. So in an attempt to get recruitment up in the Navy, they're saying, I don't care if you didn't graduate from high school. I don't care if you don't have your GED. You know what I mean? Come on down to the Navy and, sign up. So that is interesting. That is interesting. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Just because somebody didn't graduate from high school, just because they dropped out and don't have their GED, does that mean that they won't make a good soldier? Not necessarily. But it is just interesting. It is just interesting. Interesting where we are with regards to that. So the Navy saying that you don't need all the education. You don't even have to finish high school. You can just come on in, pass this test, and pass the Navy test, and you are good. Interesting. djdiamondk at gmail.com. Now, as far as Republicans in the House, the GOP in the House, they have released articles of impeachment against the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and this is over the border. So one thing that Republicans have done is they have convinced people that the border is the biggest problem in America. Now, the reason why they want you to focus on that is because the economy is not as bad as they would like it to be. Now, you may say, what do you mean they want the economy to be bad? Yes, they want the economy to be bad. Donald Trump will tell you he wants the depression. He wants the whole system to crash so he can come in and try to blame the whole thing on Biden. The border is something that needs to be addressed. However, Republicans don't seem to actually want to fix it. The thing about the border, the thing about immigration is this is not a new issue. Immigration is something that has plagued this country for many years. And if the folks in DC really want to fix the problem of immigration, they would fix it. They don't really want to fix it. They just want to talk about it. They just want to give a lip service to it, but they don't actually want to do something about it. Why do folks want to come to this country? Folks want to come to this country because of economic opportunity, right? There are businesses here in this country that will hire them to do work. So therefore, they are coming here to do work, make money, send it back home, bring over some more folks. And you know what I mean? That's what you want to do. If the businesses, now we're talking about these big businesses, if these big businesses were not hiring immigrants, illegal immigrants, we'll say that. If they were not hiring illegal immigrants, then they would not be coming. So you have these big corporations who, if ICE rolled through there, half the workforce would be deported. Those are the places that you need to target until you address the real magnet to bring illegal immigrants to this country. Everything else is just talking trash. Everything else is just talking trash. And big business that we're talking about, they control the politicians. The people and the corporations that are employing illegal immigrants control the politicians, right? So they control the politicians. So the politicians are not going to really address the real reason or the real cause or really end it. You know why? Because they can't. Because they would lose their funding. They would lose their money. The ones that control them, what they call the dark money, that is done by the very people who are controlling the politicians. So all we are in is in a quagmire. We're supposed to just saying stuff and you're just talking. You did it. Let's fix it. I would have fixed it. You would fix it. And nothing happens, right? And that's where we are, right? So we keep sending these folks to DC who are literally and figuratively puppets. They can't do anything, won't do anything, right? Sort of like Diddy. Y'all remember him, right? Diddy. They like can't stop, won't stop, right? They ain't gonna stop. They can't stop. They just run in their mouth. They're just running their mouth. Let's see what Cool Breeze is saying. Cool Breeze said, and this is about the last topic, that they're just trying to enlist to meet numbers, and that's right. Talking about the Navy, the enlistors will go hand with training because enlisters not able to handle the stress mentally. You're right. That is absolutely right. And Cool Breeze is just saying that this is just a numbers game. And also talking about the agenda, both Republicans and Democrats in Congress will steal loopholes from us, the taxpayers, for absolutely. Cool Breeze is just saying that it doesn't matter, Democrats or Republicans, they are just trying to get over on the people, and talking about the very people that they hire. It's absolutely right. So we're talking about on Instagram we're saying that talking about lobbyists, and it's a money thing, right? It is just a money thing, and that's where we are with that. So they want folks to focus on the border, right? And immigration could be stopped like that. They're coming here for jobs, and if you cut that off, or you make it more stringent to hire folks, then they'll stop coming here and go somewhere else, or they'll take the proper steps to get hired, and take the proper steps to get inside. But if you have illegal immigrants working somewhere, right, and they pass word back to their family, look, you can come here, work at whatever it's called, right, corporation, whatever, and you just come over here. You don't have to get your papers. You don't have to do nothing. You just get over here, and they got folks just coming over, right? And that's what's happening. You end that. You target these corporations. Now these are big money corporations. These are big places with a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars. If they were targeted, then this would stop. But of course, that's not going to happen. So I don't know where we are with regards to that, and where we can go when you have politicians controlled by the various corporations that are the biggest the biggest contributors to the illegal immigration that America is currently facing. So I had to get to a little bit of foolishness, right? Gotta have a little bit of foolishness. Krishan Rock, right? I like her actually, right? But she has tattooed Blueface's face on her face, right? This young lady, she's 23 years old, and she's a pretty girl. Not sure why she did it, and I'm pretty sure she is going to regret this one day in the very near future, because this guy Blueface is, whenever he gets out of jail, he's gonna be back to the same old, craziness. And but I love tattoos, right? I have a gang of tattoos, and I think the tattoos on folks, when it's done right, looks good. But this one, this one is beyond me. I saw this, and I was hoping that she was joking, but even if she had stopped at the outline, but she got it colored in, she's got shading. Oh, she is going to be so angry with herself. And even extensive laser removal, this is still going to be a problem for her. One day, and it's not going to be that far. It's not going to be that far away. She is going to be so sad that she did this. But she did it. Maybe some makeup. What do you call it? A foundation or something. But she's got that dude's name, face tattooed on her. You remember? Wasn't that long ago? They were fighting in the street, knocking each other out, and swinging on each other and all that. And she has that. She was locked up. Do you think that he wouldn't tattoo her face on his arm, and she didn't put it on her face, her literally put it on her face. Wow, that is and some folks are saying that that's love, and that is that she's a real one, and she's down, she's something. She's something. I'm not sure exactly what, but she is definitely something. Speaking of something, Carroll, she was awarded $83 million from former President Donald Trump, and she's starting to make the rounds. She is going to be, out smiling, talking the victory speech, because she's been awarded this jury, $83 million. Former President Trump repeatedly has defamed her in statements. She is a columnist, and she told George Stephanopoulos that she plans to use the money on something that Trump hates. Not sure what that is. A lot of folks are saying Trump's not going to pay the money. How are they going to make Trump pay the money? What is going to happen? He needs to pay the money. Some people don't think she's going to get any money. But I'm telling you that she is going to get some money. He's trying to appeal this, and when that happens, he's going to have to put down some money. They're going to have to put it in, the court is going to get access to it. So he's going to have to get this money. Does he have this money liquid? I'm going to say no. He's going to try to get some bank or some private investor or somebody to put up this money so he can try to appeal this. But here's the thing. He's going to lose in an appeal. He's going to lose, right? Why do I say that? I say that he's going to lose. A jury has determined that he was liable for sexual assault. I don't know why the so-called law and order party, the Republicans, have just turned a blind eye to sexual assault. I say that they turned a blind eye to sexual assault because Donald Trump is their standard bearer. Donald Trump is the one that they're saying that they want to be in office, but he has been convicted by a jury, right? Don't fall for the foolishness of Joe Biden did it, or it's a Obama judge or some foolishness. This is a judge of his peer, a jury of his peers that found him guilty, right? Of sexual assault, right? In Baltimore, y'all threw Catherine Pugh in jail over some books, right? This Bama Trump took his grubby fingers and inserted them unwelcomingly in this lady, Carroll, back in the day. And it is amazing that the so-called party of law and order thinks that it's okay that someone has this kind of accusation, right? They got Sheila Dixon up out of office here in Baltimore over some gift cards, probably less than $200 worth of gift cards that she gave to some of her staff or something, probably as gifts. She probably gave them as gifts, they're sitting around the office. Here, take these cards, right? They got her up out of there for that. Donald Trump has 91 indictments, right? 91. This ain't even one of those indictments. This is some other stuff. But this is the so-called law and order party that is supporting him. Cool Breeze says that he's going to take funds from the wall Texas was building. That is something else. Cool Breeze says that in the passion pocket is Nancy Faye. Yeah. Definitely. Donald Trump's grubby, disgusting fingers. This lady, it is crazy. And so we have it. 83 million. Is he going to? He's going to have a lot of judgments against him. He has another judgment that's coming down in the Trump Organization case in New York. Also, that's going to be coming down. That's going to be a large amount of money that he's going to have to pay out. It just looks really, really crazy out there. It looks really, really crazy. So Republicans going forward with Trump. And here's the thing about Trump. The so-called people that were trying to go against him for the Republican nomination, those folks, the ones that never did or said any crosswords about him, they are part of the problem. The Republican infrastructure is part of the problem. Republicans that support Donald Trump, part of the problem. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that's really going to upset y'all. He can't and is not going to win. He's not going to win. Elections are a game of addition, not subtraction. And all Donald Trump does is subtract from people that would vote for him. He turns people off. So yes, so the people who are real excited about him, if they get, all right, we're really excited about him now. Okay, that's not going to make more people vote for you in a general election. And the media, the mainstream media that says all these indictments just mean that he has more momentum and makes him stronger. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It makes him, I guess the folks that are mega fans, they become super mega fans, but it doesn't make more of them. It's just the same old people yelling in the corner, the same old ones that went to the Capitol and some of their homies and all that kind of stuff. But it's not more people. It's the same ones that supported him back in the day. It's just now less of them. Now it's just less. But he is once again convinced Republicans, which is so stupid. Look at his track record. But whatever. I mean, it's all good. If Trump was not running, then Biden would be retired. But sadly, the only person that Biden can beat is Trump. And if Trump wasn't running, then Biden would have gone home. But, it is what it is. Speaking of Biden, the, first of its kind campaign fundraiser is in the works with Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden. So the campaign is trying to organize this fundraiser that officials hope is going to be lucrative and headline grabbing. Now, what are they trying to do? They're trying to energize the Democrats and get their voters excited. Now, so far, they have not been excited about Joe Biden. And let me tell you why. Biden's boring. He's not exciting. He doesn't speak well. And this is the thing. The young Biden didn't speak well. So the old Biden, he's even worse than the young Biden, right? He doesn't speak well. He's not exciting. President Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, they were both dynamic speakers. They got people amped up, people excited. Biden bores everybody. So they're trying to bring in some of the greatest hits, and hopefully they can get people excited. The 2024 ticket is, as some of my Swedish friends would say, is boring, right? It is very boring, and Bill Clinton and President Obama plan to work with allies to get this party an all-hands-on-deck approach to help him get a second term. It is also, as we continue to move forward, I guess we're 10 months away, this is going to start picking up steam. You're going to see Democratic leaders, folks from the Biden campaign, all gearing up for a general election that they view has some high stakes. One thing that they used to do in wrestling, WCW, back in the day, right? They would say, this is the single biggest show ever, right? They would do that over and over and over again. And by the time you got midway through the show, you would say, this ain't the single biggest show ever. This is just a regular old show. For so many years, for so many election cycles, folks have said, this is the biggest election ever. This is the biggest election ever. And this is probably the biggest election ever. If it ain't the biggest, it's the second biggest, right? It's super important for you to get involved, for you to vote, for you to participate in this process. Now, everybody's not going to do it because everybody doesn't believe that it affects them. Everybody does not want to join in the voting process. I don't care who you vote for, right? But you need to vote. Now, if you want the country to go a certain way, then you'll vote for Trump, right? And if you want the country to continue to grow, then you're going to vote for Biden. Really simple like that. But we're going to talk about this a lot more as time continues to progress and we skate towards the general election. This is an interesting story here. An ex-IRS contractor was sentenced to 5 years for leaking tax documents belonging to Donald Trump and other wealthy Americans. Very, very interesting here. So he has been sentenced to 5 years in prison and ordered to pay a fine of $5,000. This contractor pleaded guilty to leaking documents to media outlets in 2019 and 2020. So that was, how do you say, dumb? Why did he do that? For money. And he's paying out $5,000 and losing 5 years. Was it worth it? I guess it depends on how much money they were paid. This ex-IRS, person. Very, very, very interesting there. I think it was dumb move though. I think it was a real dumb move. It's the Diamond K Show, of course. RadioOnFire.tv, onfire-tv.com. Of course, on YouTube, DJ Diamond K. So, a couple more stories before we get out of here. The enemy drone that hit the U.S. base in Jordan, killing 3 service members, possibly confused with an American drone. If you haven't heard, it is just a sad situation here. You have a drone hit the barracks, right? This is the place where the soldiers are asleep. This is just a sad situation because when stuff like this happens, America responds. And when they do this, this means war. This is not good. This is not good at all. These deaths are going to just spark things up, spark the U.S. involvement in that region up. This is the first in the line of fire American troops since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Not happy about this at all. Of course, you have the loss of life, but this is taking us in a direction that is not going to be good because they're not going to telegraph what they're going to do. But it's very easy to predict it. Folks are going to be killed. They're going to send some drones over somewhere else. It's going to really increase our involvement. The Pentagon has announced the names of the soldiers. There are 3 Army reservists that were killed in this drone attack over the weekend at the U.S. base in Jordan near the border with Syria. And Sergeant William Jerome Rivers and SPC Kennedy LaDon Sanders and SPC Brianna Morfett were killed on Sunday when a one-way unmanned aerial system, a drone, hit their housing units while they were sleeping. This incident is still under investigation, but you know how this goes. You've been around long enough. You know how this goes. But the Pentagon has identified the 3 U.S. service members killed in this attack, and they are all Black Americans, and definitely sad to hear this information, and we're definitely praying for their families and friends after this attack and the loss of life. But like I said, you can expect for activity, U.S. activity in this region to increase. They're not going to take this line down. The powers that be in America are not going to take this line down. So that is just where we are with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, of course. djdiamondk at gmail.com. And a couple more stories before we get out of here. Obamacare signups have surged to over 20 million Americans. The Biden administration announced this record-breaking enrollment. This is health insurance through the Obamacare marketplace. This reflects 25% of an increase, and they are emphasizing the efforts to expand access and affordability. So this is a good thing. The president is trying to make lower healthcare premiums a permanent feature. They have not achieved that as of yet, but they are highlighting the Democratic initiatives, including tax breaks, to provide cost-effective plans. So that is a good thing. Now, despite challenges like Medicaid removals and Republican opposition, the administration's aggressive outreach and extended enrollment options have offered opportunities to mitigate disruptions in coverage for vulnerable populations. So the Biden administration, with another thing that they can tout, another thing that they can do to boost things up. Speaking of boosting things up, we've been talking about Donald Trump. And according to reports, allies close to the disgraced, twice impeached former president are urging him to select a woman or a Black man as his running mate. Maybe he'll select a woman. I don't see him selecting a Black man. That would be a big surprise to me. Anyway, the allies of Donald Trump, according to reports, are trying to get him to consider selecting a lady. What, you want somebody that he could potentially sexually assault? What does he want? Why would you want to do something like that? Anyway, the thought process here is that the selection could better, bolster his appeal among Black people and women in this potential rematch with Joe Biden. Trump is going to select somebody who is meek, like Mike Pence, somebody like that. Of course, you see Tim Scott auditioning to be Donald Trump's floor mat. You see Vivek Ramaswamy auditioning to be the floor mat. There are others out there. So I don't know who he's going to select. I don't think it's going to be any of the people that are currently in the forefront. I would be surprised. Trump's going to select somebody who's definitely not going to outshine him with regards to charisma and things like that. But either way, it's going to be Trump and whoever against Biden and VP Harris. Very, very interesting. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, on YouTube, I am DJ Diamond K, and hit me up. RadioOnFire.tv, onfire-tv.com. I am here weekdays at 6 p.m. And of course, you can always check us out on demand. On the weekends, I am in the mix right here. So this weekend, what are we doing? Are we doing Baltimore Club? I think we're going to do Baltimore Club. I think so. Yeah. So that's going to be Saturday, 12 noon, right here. So however you are checking out our feed, many places on X, I am at the Diamond K Show. However you're checking us out, do that. But this weekend, I'll be in the mix, 12 noon, Baltimore Club, djdiamondk at gmail.com. You want to send some music in and all that good stuff. Other than that, I will check you guys out tomorrow.
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.